Hey runners, did you know that every single step you take when you run is between 2 and 3 times your body weight? Crazy, right? So if you're a 150-pound person, that's at least 300 pounds per step. That load's gonna be felt at your back, your hip, and your knee. In this video, I'm gonna show you 5 exercises you can do to reduce loading on your joints, protect your joints, and make sure you stay injury-free. All right, so for this first exercise, you're gonna need a band, an elastic band right above your kneecaps. And that's an important point because if you put it below your kneecaps, you might end up using your hip flexor or a muscle we really don't wanna engage in this drill. We're really trying to get to your butt muscles, your glute muscles. Those are big, strong muscles that help with shock absorption, help to offload pressure from your knee, from your hip joints, every single step you take. So, band goes above the knees to activate your glute muscles. Here's the drill. You're gonna start in a squatted position. So shoulders over hips. You're gonna spread the band with your knees. Knees are gonna be at the toes, chest is gonna be forward. Now here's the deal. You're gonna start here and you're really gonna try to rip the ground apart with your feet. That part is key. When you rip the ground apart, it activates your glute muscles and you want those pre-activated before you start this drill. Here's what we do. So from this position, you're gonna be in a slight squat. You're gonna take a small jump. And the second your feet hit the ground, you're gonna rip the ground apart again. You're gonna spread the band apart because that's what's gonna load your butt muscles and your quads and not your knee or your hip. So here it is again. Start in the squat, spread the floor, slight jump, and immediately back in a hip hinge. Here's the side view. So here, squat, chest over toes, butt back, spread the band, jump, and immediately sit back in the hip hinge. What you want to avoid is when you land, you don't want to land stiff and upright. That's going to be a lot of joint loading, a lot of painful loading. You want to land in a hip hinge. So immediately your butt goes back and your chest comes forward. That's called a hip hinge. It's a very important motion that we're going to use throughout the exercises I'm going to show you in this video. So remember the hip hinge, remember spread the band, and remember spread the floor. With the squat jump drill, it's super important that you get a good warm up before you start that drill. Could be walking, light running, could be some other glute activation drills. Just be sweaty, just be warmed up before you do it. You don't want to start with these shock absorption drills. They're too aggressive. So 5-8 minute warm up, get sweaty before you jump into these drills. With the squat jump, you're looking to do 6 to 10 repetitions with 1 minute to 2 minutes in between each set. The next exercise I'm going to show you is a side-to-side jump. This is a single leg drill, which is super important as runners because you're never on the ground with 2 feet at any given time. Running is a single leg sport. So you must develop control and shock absorption in single leg position. So we're going to take the hip hinge we just learned in the last video and we're going to adapt it to this next exercise. You're still going to use the hip hinge, except this time it's going to be on single leg. All right, so here is the side-to-side jump drill. You're going to start on one leg, and it's key here that you start by getting into a hip hinge position. So butt back, chest forward. Make sure your knee stays pointing over your toes and it doesn't collapse inward. So from this position, you're going to take a small jump to your right leg and you're going to hold that position. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to jump back to the other side. Now it's key your shoulders stay over your hips, your knee stays over your toes, and you try to keep your pelvis as level as possible. Don't let your pelvis drop down. So here it is again. Start in the hip hinge, jump to the side and hold. 1, 2, 3. Jump. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to keep holding for 3 seconds in each position. Here's the side view. So you're going to start here, jump to the side, hip hinge. You see my butt's back, chest is forward. So I'm in this nice single leg squat position. What you can do here is you can use a mirror. That's a great tool. This allows you to make sure your alignment is perfect. Not only do you want your shock absorption to be good, meaning less pressure on your joints, more loading on your muscles, but you want everything to be lined up so that there's no forces that are overloading a specific tissue. Hey guys, one of the things that's crazy about these shock absorption drills is that most of the times you're in rehab with a PT and you're trying to get past an injury or prevent an injury, this phase is often forgotten. Shock absorption exercises usually aren't done. They may be too aggressive, or they might feel you might get injured doing these. I think that's trash. It's very important that you practice loading through your muscles and not through your joints. This is a key part of injury recovery and rehab. So continue watching because I got a few more videos for you. For this next exercise, you're going to need a step or a box, plyometric box, soft box like you see here. You can use a step in your home. You can even use a curb outside of your house so long as it's wide enough and you won't risk falling. The next piece that's so important to develop shock absorption is your ability to generate force in a jump and also land in a hip hinge position, but you're going to have to generate more force in this exercise because you got to get on top of the box. You probably want to start with a 6 to 12 inch box depending on your previous history doing these types of drills. Make sure you're in a safe space before you do them. So you're going to start in a hip hinge position like we do with the band, chest lined up over hips, butt back, chest forward. From there, you're going to jump up and land in the hip hinge position on the box. Hold for a couple seconds, spreading the floor. Here it is again. Start in the hip hinge. It's key before you jump, you want to continually press your knees out, press your feet out, so that when you jump, your knees aren't caving in. So really drive your knees out, drive your feet out to turn on your glute muscles. 3, 2, 1. Jump, land in a hip hinge. Make sure you don't land with your knees in. Similarly, when you land, you don't want to land upright. You don't want to land with knees too far over your toes. You want to land knees at or slightly in front of your toes, butt back, chest out. With these drills, it's good to start small. Start with 6 reps to 8 repetitions, 1 to 2 minutes in between each rep. As you get better, you can increase the height of the box if you're comfortable with that, or you can even add a weight vest. Hey guys, if you're liking these exercises so far, if they're new and you feel like you're going to get benefit, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment below and let me know what questions you have about doing shock absorption drills specific to runners. Okay, so now that we've done box jumps up, we're going to reverse it and we're going to do box jumps down. Now the reason we're going to do this is most of the time when you run, injuries happen when you land, not when you take off. So we're really going to practice landing mechanics in this next drill. Check it out. All right, so this is where it might get a little scary. Don't worry, I've done this with thousands of runners. You can do it. Just start small. Maybe a 3-inch box would be ideal. 3 inches is perfect. As you get better, you can go 6, you can go 10, you can go 12. I have 9 inches here. Let's take a look at how this goes. So with 2 legs, you're gonna be up on the box. And it may seem like a high height which you're at. Don't worry, you'll be okay. You're gonna start in a squat and a hip hinge. Same thing, chest over knees, lined up, butt back. And what you're going to do is you're just going to step off the box, making sure you land with both legs at the same time in a hip hinge. This is where in your head you want to prepare for the landing by thinking that the second your feet touch the ground, you want to spread the floor with your feet and you want to keep your knees out and sit into the hip hinge. This is how it looks. So from here, you're just going to step down, land with 2 feet, step back up. Again, start in a squat, and you're going to step down, land in a squat. If it's uncomfortable for you to step down with 1 leg, you can do a little small hop off the box, landing in the hip hinge. So again, when you land, you just want to make sure you land butt back, chest forward. You also want to land, if you step off with 1, make sure both feet hit the ground at exactly the same time. Now, we're going to do small repetitions here, 4 to 6 reps with a couple minutes in between. Use a mirror so you can watch your form, and then as time goes on, increase the height of the box when you feel comfortable. All right, runners, so here's the final exercise I'm going to show you to practice shock absorption. Do this one last because it's the most difficult and you want to work your way up to this one, but it's also very important. It's the one exercise that we get to in running rehab programs at my clinic that runners often tell me is the most impactful on their running form long term. So we're going to take the double leg box drop we did in the last exercise, and now we're going to do it with one leg. I know, sounds crazy, but trust me, you can do it. So you're going to be up on the box. You're going to start in your hip hinge squat. And now what you're going to do, you're going to step off, but you're only going to land on one leg. And you're going to hold for a couple seconds in a hip hinge. Here it is again. Up on the box, start squatted down, and then just let your body weight come down onto the one leg. Your back leg has to come up off the box. If you struggle with balance, you can keep that foot on, but work your way to taking it off. You want to do it also on both sides. So here, shift weight onto the right and then step down onto the left. Now here, make sure your knee doesn't come in or go excessively out. Make sure your trunk doesn't move too far over your knees. For this, alignment is key. It's also important that you make sure you bend at the hips. So if I step off the box this way, just as an example, I want to land butt back, chest forward. I don't want to land too far upright, and I don't want to land with my knee too far over my toes. Again here, 4 to 6 reps, very small. Work your way up in terms of box height. So there are the 5 exercises you can do to reduce loading on your joints, protect your joints from wear and tear and arthritis, and make sure that you can load your muscles to run better and run softer. All right, runners, thanks so much for watching. On screen here, you'll see 2 videos I also recommend for you to do to help build your glute strength, help build your alignment, and help with your shock absorption. So be sure to check them out. Again, like, subscribe, drop a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, train smarter and perform better.